So I've been out a couple of days shooting some video on the North Country Trail and trying out my new microphone. One of my commenters said I should buy this thing, and so I did, and really I'm kind of impressed from a long distance off. It does pick up my voice, but I'm getting a lot of twang. Kind of sounds like a country music song, so I better go home and watch some YouTubes on how to use a microphone. But if you find the information useful, hang in there. The quality will get better. Rome wasn't built in a day. Not that I was there when they were building it, but that's what I've heard. And I will get better quality sound in the future. Today, this video, whenever it comes out, is about doing big miles on a through hiking trail and things to think about. You know, focus on basically speed multiplied by times equals distance, and how to manage all those things. So don't really concentrate on the sound of this video, maybe just the information. We'll go look at it right now. So speed multiplied by times equals distance, and that's kind of what we're talking about today: long distance hiking and hiking long days on a through hike, and also trying out my new microphone. So if you at different distances, so if you see a little dot in the background, that's me. And I just want to see how far this thing will reach. But anyways, you know, you don't have to be a gram weenie to do big miles, but there is a huge difference between a 40-pound pack and a 30-pound pack and a 20-pound pack. And you'll learn to start jettisoning ballast, and you'll move faster and lighter. But there's a downside to that too. If you get too extreme, you're going to be, you know, uncomfortable. You know, I slept on, you know, a pad, just a foam pad for years, and I was never comfortable. So when I see super ultralight packers, and I like to ask them questions, and, you know, are you uncomfortable? And if they're honest, they'll say yes, because I never slept well on those things. And, you know, I'm not brain dead. I know that some people have budget issues, and you're not going to buy a $150 blow-up pad. But even today, with the budget gear that's out there, you're going to be a whole lot lighter than thousands of other people that have hiked these trails in the past with older gear, heavier gear. It still can be done. Don't let you know, that stop you. But you know, if somebody's got a $700 tent that's lighter than their cut-off toothbrush, and they're complaining to me about how uncomfortable they are, yes, I've had that discussion and conversation. I don't want to hear about it. So anyway, getting lighter, there's no question, will make you faster, but a lot of it's right up here, and a lot of it's managing your time. If you manage your time, it'll automatically manage your miles. Today I'm going to talk about mileage. You know, a lot of people, when you start a through hike, you hear about the miles, but you don't believe it. You don't think you can hike that many miles. You don't think other people can hike that many miles. It's kind of like a marathon. If you're not a runner and you see people running 26 miles, you just have no markers to even fathom it. But once you get out there, you'll find out that those miles are possible. I think probably the most miles I've ever hiked in a day was 37 on the Great Divide Trail. And you know, I wasn't flat. I was much heavier pack back then. It was just a good day. I felt good. I had long summer hours, hiked from dark to dark. And you know, I was tired at the end of that day. But you know, doing anywhere from 20 to say 32 is pretty common for me on a long distance hike. But again, a lot of people don't believe it. You know, I in Glacier one year, I left Mokowanis campground, and because of permits, I had to get all the way to Granite Park, which is about a 26-mile day. So I got up at dark 30, had breakfast with a horse packer that was bringing in materials for a new outhouse. Started out in the dark, got up over Stony Indian Pass, which is, you know, probably a 5.5 mile climb, but then it's all downhill to the trail that goes up to 50 Mountain, Granite Park, the Highline Trail. But about I don't know, maybe a mile up that trail, I run into a whole bunch of people without backpacks coming out of the backcountry. And the first two weren't even friendly, who I found out later were the superintendent of the park and the secretary of the interior. And then I saw a horse pack with all their gear, and I couldn't understand, because I know that doesn't happen in Glacier, but then I found out it was a government meeting at 50 Mountain. They had 50 Mountain all hosed up, so that's why I couldn't get into that campground. Only a storm was coming in, so they were leaving early and trying to beat the storm out of the mountains. And nobody was in uniform except the last couple guys, and they decided to question my permit and where I slept, because after they questioned me, there's no way that I walked from Mokowanis there by that time of the late morning. And so that kind of made me mad. They were politely calling me a liar. So I find out that this guy, he finally tells me he's in charge of all the backcountry in Glacier. And I said, well, have you ever heard of the Bob Marshall Complex? It's just south of here. So I decided to be a little snarky myself. And I said, you know, Bob Marshall, they say he'll walk 40 miles a day with a 60-pound backpack. I thought all you rangers could do that. And the more I talked to this guy, the more I found out, even though he's running the park in the backcountry, he didn't even know about the fee increases and the fact that they took my senior half-price benefit away that year, which even made me more upset. Anyway, in all of that, they didn't say, well, you know, we just left 50, so you can go to 50 today instead of walking all the way to Granite Park. No, and I made it to 50, but it was a rainy, miserable day. That storm did come in. But you can do those kind of miles, and you'll find out that you can do them the more you work at it. So if you can't increase your speed, you're going to have to increase your time hiking every day. And, you know, kind of fall into a rhythm of maybe getting up a little earlier and hiking a little later to get your miles in. You know, hiking, you'll find out, is probably, at least on a through hike, 25% hiking, 75% logistics, trying to figure out how you're going to get to your goals. And you have to kind of stay focused if you want to get to the end by the end of the season. But anyway, just some things to think about. Keep smiling.